What is up, everybody? Let me start that over again. What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR365. What is going on? Today is Saturday, and let's see, we are up to episode 143, and today's date is April 6, 2019. What's going on, guys? So here we are back with another episode of the show, and you know what, today we're going to get into some HP Reverb talk. So basically, Tested did a video very recently, their newest episode of Projections. They talked a lot about the HP Reverb. They also talked about Asgard's Wrath and Shadow Point. I believe those were kind of the three major subjects that they talked about. And they had a guy from HP, John, I don't know what his last name was, but he's kind of like the project manager for HP Reverb. And I think there were some interesting comments that were made during that tested video. And I have 5 different clips from that tested video that we're going to take a look at those clips, and we're going to kind of hash them out a little bit, some of the information that came out of it. I thought it was pretty interesting, so I thought we can get into that. Okay, also, I do have good news for everybody here. So I am currently playing Vacation Simulator. Yes, I am playing Vacation Simulator. I played it a lot last night. I'm going to play it more today. I'm going to play it tomorrow. I'm going to play it Monday, and on Tuesday, when the game releases, which August 9th is the release date for Vacation Simulator on HTC, well, you know, on Steam and Oculus Store, Vacation Simulator will be available. I believe it's retailing for $29.99, and I will have detailed thoughts because I might even finish the game prior to Tuesday. Yeah, it could be another finished game for me, but if I don't finish it, I'll be deep into it. And so this Tuesday I will have extensive thoughts about Vacation Simulator, so go ahead and look forward to that. I will also absolutely do at least one Let's Play, possibly multiple Let's Plays of Vacation Simulator, so you do have that to look forward to on Tuesday. Unfortunately, I can't say anything about it right now. It is embargoed, so we are going to have to wait for Tuesday on that. So good news on that front. But why don't we go ahead and get into this discussion with the HP Reverb and some of the projection stuff that is going on. The HP Reverb, one of the things that we got to remember here, this is one of the more interesting headsets that's out there. Now, I know obviously since we've had the announcement of the Rift S, a lot of people are very interested in the Rift S. The Rift S is it's an appealing headset for anybody that is highly invested in the Oculus ecosystem. You want to have a legitimate Oculus Rift headset. If you have a lot of Oculus Rift games, you want the real controllers. You don't want to have to screw around with Revive. Rift S is a big deal. Obviously, of course, the Valve Index, probably the biggest thing right now, period, in all of VR gaming. Bigger news than Zelda in VR, bigger news than even No Man's Sky in VR and everything else that's going on. The Valve Index, I mean, we cannot wait until May 1st. We want more information. We want the price. We want to know all the little secrets of the Valve Index. It is very exciting as far as that goes. But HP Reverb, man, we cannot forget about HP Reverb. This headset is coming, I believe, later this month, right? This headset is coming later this month, late April. We don't have an exact date. I don't know if they're doing like pre-orders or anything. I haven't heard anything about that. Like, for example, let's say I want to order an HP Reverb, and I kind of do. I actually do. I want to get my hands on an HP Reverb. I want to be able to try it out myself in person. You can see 114 degree field of view, incredibly high and sharp resolution, designed to feel invisible, very ergonomic, very comfortable in those sorts of ways. So HP Reverb, pretty exciting, but it still has some major downgrades. But I thought we could take a look at some of these projection clips and kind of examine this a little bit more as far as HP Reverb. They got hands-on time with it, and of all the people out there that I trust, projections, Jeremy Williams, Norman Chan, I trust those guys. They know their stuff. And so why don't we go ahead and take a look at some of these clips and get into this. So let me go ahead and grab clip number 1 from the most recent episode of Projections. And I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, watch the entire show, subscribe to Projections. Although I don't know that they're calling it Projections anymore because they didn't have their normal intro clip at the beginning of it. But let's go ahead and check this out. Let me go ahead and pump the volume up on this.
Well, you know, we have a really big focus on commercial with our organization. We're focusing on commercial VR, and coincidentally, a lot of what they wanted is the same as what consumers want. So when we talk about training, where they're doing like OSHA or nurse training, what they really want is higher resolution so they can see details, so you can read text. For architecture, they want to be able to see how brick looks. They want to see the grain of the wood, so they want higher resolution. The other thing they all really ask for is more comfort, because if you're going to use VR a lot, you also want to be comfortable. And today's VR is honestly not that comfy. So the two things we really focus on for this are resolution. That's why we went to 2160 by 2160 panel per eye with the RGB substripes since they're LCD. So you get really great detail. And then those LCD panels are also only 2.89 inches, so it allows us to shrink the device and make it a lot lighter for all-day comfort.
Okay, so yeah, that is clip number 1. They are talking to the project manager there at HP for the Reverb and the design of Reverb. And so in this first clip, he kind of is just breaking it down basically about what the focus was. When they designed the Reverb, what was the idea? What was the thought process here? And it was primarily commercial and enterprise. HP did not design this for you and me. They designed it for enterprise customers. He talked about OSHA training and being able to see things crystal clear. There's a lot of businesses that are going to be using VR in the early days of VR. It is going to be an invaluable tool for training people on how to not do the wrong thing or how to do the right thing. And if you're training people, you want to have that clarity. You want to have that crispness so that there's no ambiguity as far as that goes. And then also from an architecture standpoint, you want to be able to see the grain of wood. You want to be able to look at the bricks. You want to be able to have that kind of detail so that if you're doing some kind of architecture presentation, you want your customers to be wowed by the fact that they can clearly see what this end product is going to look like. So commercial enterprise of paramount importance for Hewlett-Packard when they did design the HP Reverb. Now, the second big thing that they were talking about here, the other big factor is comfort. Like the number one, these were the number one things that they heard about. They need this higher resolution for training and all that sorts of things, but comfort, it's got to be comfortable. And he talked about the current VR headsets out there right now, not very comfy. They don't have a high comfort factor. And that was something that they really worked on here with HP Reverb. And I probably should have checked on this, but going back to David Jagano, remember that tweet a long time ago from David Jagano where he said that he tried the most comfortable VR headset he ever tried? I still don't know if it's the Rift S that he was talking about or if it was the HP Reverb. And I think I've mentioned this before, and I think somebody in chat said he was actually talking about the HP Reverb, that the HP Reverb is one of the most comfortable headsets out there. So comfort and high resolution, two of the most critical factors. Okay, so the next clip we're going to get into, this is all about the sweet spot, and this is of critical importance, especially for this HP Reverb. There is no manual IPD adjustment. Let's go ahead and check this clip out. I'm going to turn this up a little bit, and we're going to get into clip number 2. So hold on a second here.
Like OSHA or nurse training, what they really want is higher resolution so they can see details, so you can read text. For architecture, they want to be able to see how brick looks. They want to see the grain of the wood. There's no use in having a really great panel without good optics. And so for this, we actually moved, on our previous gen design was a symmetrical design. It was a circle, your eye goes in the very middle, but the sweet spot wasn't very big. So what we did here is we actually lowered the field of view per eye, but once you combine them, the total field of view is up to 114 degrees. So we're being a little bit smarter about how the human eye works with our lenses this time. And by lowering the field of view per eye, it actually lets us increase the sweet spot by about 33%. So you don't have that situation where you put it on, things look fuzzy, and you kind of got to move it around to get your eye into the sweet spot. You should just sit naturally in the sweet spot because it's so big.
Okay, so that was clip number 2. And clip number 2, all about the sweet spot. One of the things that he mentioned here is that the previous generation design, it was symmetrical, it was a circle, and you had a finite sweet spot. And those of you that have had PlayStation VR, you probably know what I'm talking about here, because every time, like anytime I would give somebody a demo for PlayStation VR, the number one thing I would have to tell them is sometimes you got to move it up a little bit, you got to move it down a little bit. Sometimes you maybe have to wiggle it a little bit this way, wiggle it a little bit that way. You got to fidget with it. You don't want to just put it on, and you want to dial it in so that the text, you find some piece of text there and you get it dialed in. But the sweet spot is small. PlayStation VR, in my opinion, not a very big sweet spot, and you do have to fidget with it. And he's basically talking about in their previous design, that's kind of how this was. But what they did here is they cheated a little bit. They actually lowered the FOV, the field of view per eye was lowered. But the idea is that your perceived FOV, when you combine it, it's actually going to be about 114 degrees. Now, I wonder if there's an asterisk there because they're talking about perceived field of view. And so when you get, there's one thing, what is the field of view, period? And then perceived field of view is a completely different thing. They're kind of talking about perceived field of view. But one of the things he mentioned here is by cheating, by lowering the FOV per eye, they're able to increase the size of the sweet spot by 33%. Now that sounds like a major game changer, a really big sweet spot. It would be nice. There's this future world that we're going to live in 5 years from now where we have a really big sweet spot in these headsets and you're not going to have to fidget with them very much. And so that's one of the things he talked about in terms of that absolutely huge sweet spot, or at least, that's what they're talking about, right? We'll see what the reality is when we get the final results here. But let's go ahead and get into our next clip, because our next clip deals with one of the biggest disadvantages that we have for the HP Reverb. This is one of the little bugaboos that is probably stopping a lot of people from buying this headset with reckless abandon, and that is the fixed IPD. And he's about to talk about the two major problems that you get into with a fixed IPD and with a software-based IPD adjustment. So let's go ahead and get into our next clip. So I'm going to turn the volume up on this clip and then we'll get into clip number 3.
But the sweet spot wasn't very big. So what we did here is we actually lowered the field of view per eye, but once you combine them, the total field of view is up to 100.
Interesting. That allows you to get away with something like a software IPD, which is what Windows has.
Yeah. So there's two problems that can come from IPD adjustment. One is, are you in the sweet spot? With a larger sweet spot here, we feel we don't need the hardware IPD for that. Mm-hmm. The other is, does distance look right? Does dimensionality look correct? And for that, there's still a software setting that you can change to match to your IPD.
Okay, so that was clip number 3. And you know what? I got to tell you, this clip is very interesting to me from a standpoint of this guy, John. We don't know what his last name is, right? Okay, John, whatever his last name happens to be, the project manager for Hewlett-Packard for the Reverb. And when Norman starts talking about IPD and the software IPD, I don't know. You guys tell me. I think this guy gets a little bit nervous. He's like, yeah. Like it's not. And then his eyes start darting around in different areas. I think this is probably the biggest downer of the HP Reverb. And no one's going to know that more than the project manager. Look at this guy knows everything good about this headset. He knows everything bad about this headset. And I believe that when he gets this, when they talk about this, he starts looking around here and he's like, yeah. I don't know. I think there's some concerns here. But basically, some of the stuff that he talks about is there's two major problems that come from IPD adjustment. Number one, are you in the sweet spot? Period. Yes or no. Number two, does distance look correct? Does dimensionality look correct? Okay. Does the distance look right? Does the scale look right? Is the distance off? Is scale off? And those are the two biggest issues that he's talking about here. And you know what? When he started talking about this, and I started thinking about dimensionality, and I started thinking about scale, I couldn't help but remember the Oculus Go. And I do believe, I don't have tremendous problems with the Oculus Go. I don't see blurriness. I don't get that blurriness. And I don't think I get the eye strain so much. But I think what I do get is I think I get some problems with the scale and the dimensionality and maybe the distance. I do believe I get a little bit of problems with that. Maybe not so much to make it like I can't use the Go. There's some people, I can't use the Go. I just can't use it. Not to that degree, but I think I do see a little bit of an issue there. Another thing he talked about here is he's basically saying that they feel like they've covered these two problems, like they've solved these two problems, because remember, the big question is, are you in the sweet spot? Well, supposedly they increased the sweet spot by 33%, so it's going to allow more people to be in the sweet spot, even if they're on these outer edges. That bigger sweet spot is going to cover more people, in theory, right? In theory. And then the second issue, the distance and dimensionality, well, apparently the software IPD is going to handle both of those problems as well. So it's all good, right? Everything is great. Nothing to worry about here with this HP Reverb. Might as well order one tomorrow, right? Well, I don't know, because, going back to Palmer Luckey, and you remember Palmer Luckey's blog post where he said that the Rift S isn't for me and it isn't for you either, and kind of got into the whole deal there, and he had a really long blog post. He was talking about average IPDs, yada yada yada. Well, in that particular breakdown by Palmer Luckey, I'm pretty sure I remember him saying that there's 4 major problems that come when you cannot dial in a correct IPD for somebody. There's 4 major problems, and I believe Palmer Luckey said that the software IPD only solves 1 of those 4, and you still have the 3 other issues. But I don't have that all broken down, so I'm not going to get into that, but it is something to remember. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into clip number 4, and this is probably the most important clip of the clips that we're going to deal with today, because this is their opinion, primarily Jeremy Williams' opinion of this sweet spot. Is it really 33% bigger? Does this really solve the problem? Is software IPD a non-issue here because of the much larger sweet spot? Well, let's check out clip number 4. Let's see what Jeremy Williams has to say about that. So I'm going to go ahead and pump the volume on this clip, and we'll get into clip number 4. So let's go ahead and get into this.
Interesting. That allows you to get away with something like a software IPD, which is what Windows has. Yeah.
Now, the greater sweet spot, did you notice that you could see more clarity across your view field?
They were very proud of their new sweet spot. Personally, it seems very comparable to other headsets that we've tried this year, the Rift S, the Quest.
The Go.
The Go, and if anything, I felt like for me personally, and maybe this is going to vary from person to person based on their eye, how the shape of their eye, but it didn't seem even as good as the Go to me, the sweet spot. My way of measuring sweet spot is I like to look at something dead center where it's always as absolute sharpest it can be, and then I'll move my head and the headset along with it, but keep my eye on that object and see how long does it take it to notice it getting blurrier, and how long, how blurry does it get. Well, on the Go, I feel like there's a millimeter or two where it's actually in focus completely. Same with the Rift S. With this headset, I feel like there's this dead center, which is really, really sharp, but then it immediately starts getting blurrier. So it's hard to say because the actual amount of sharpness in that center is better than any headset that I've tried. So as it gets away from that, it's like getting away from this kind of level of perfection. But in terms of it being a wide sweet spot where it's all in the same focus, I didn't notice that as much.
Okay, sorry, cut that off a little bit at the end of that clip there. But bottom line, man, the bottom line with this is Jeremy Williams, a guy that kind of knows his stuff, a guy that has stuck his head in a lot of various headsets, both AR and VR, all different types, tried pretty much every headset under the sun, is very familiar with this stuff. He basically broke it down there, and he's saying, look, I'm not really noticing this giant sweet spot. Hewlett-Packard seems to be incredibly proud of what they've achieved here with a 33% bigger sweet spot, supposedly, but he's not noticing that. Now, he did provide a caveat, and he said, well, you know, when you're in dead center, when you're in the perfect dialed-in position, because the screens are so high resolution, 2160 by 2160 per eye, the clarity is incredible, and it's just next level clarity that maybe as you start to move away from there, it degrades dramatically. So I don't know. It's hard to say what we're looking at here in terms of this sweet spot, but this is very concerning, especially for somebody like me. My IPD on the high side of the range, 69, 70, 71, somewhere in that category is where I'm sitting at. And then if you're on the very low end of the scale, if you're 60, 59, 58, this also could be a major issue for you. Now, if you're sitting right there at 64, 65, 63, you are good to go. In fact, if you're in that range, thank your lucky stars, because you know what? With basically all of these headsets, you're probably going to be in the prime time range, and you don't have to worry about all the other crap that the rest of us have to worry about with our situations there. Now, does this mean that the HP Reverb is basically dead on arrival if you're on the outside edges? Not necessarily, because there's so many other factors. Remember, we've got different sized cheekbones, we've got different sized foreheads, our eye sockets are kind of different from everybody else, our noses, all these kinds of things. It all plays in. It's all a factor of getting into that eye box and figuring it out. So what we need to understand here is ideally you would love to have a couple of weeks with one of these headsets. Then you'll know the real deal. I don't even know if you could go somewhere, you get a quick demo. I don't even know if you could spend a couple hours with a headset and know for sure. You almost need it for a couple of weeks. And so anyway, that's kind of what they're talking about as far as the sweet spot, the actual reality of the sweet spot. Okay, now the final clip I have is kind of a wrap up a little bit, and it's about the resolution. You know, resolution is prime, baby. You know, in the NFL, one of the things they say in the NFL is speed kills. Speed kills. And what they mean when they're talking about speed kills is that forget everything else. Ultimately, if you got somebody that is just incredibly lightning quick, just unbelievable quickness, that trumps everything. And in the world of VR, maybe resolution is kind of like speed. And incredible resolution might trump everything. So let's go ahead and check out clip number 5. Again, I'm going to pump the volume up on this clip here, and we'll get into clip number 5.
This dead center, which is really, really sharp, but then it immediately starts getting blurrier. So it's hard to say because the actual amount of sharpness in that center The killer feature of this headset is that resolution, and it is definitely noticeably better than any headset that I've tried, including even the Pimax. I mean, it is seriously sharp, and it looks great. We played in the lab a little bit. We played in Zortex. We played in some productivity tools, and as you said, text is sharp. just everything feels more like what we've been aiming for this whole time with virtual reality. And I can see why their corporate clients would have prioritized that, because they really want to simulate things like, you're in the ER and you have to get the right tool and you want to see text in a warehouse and you want to make a one-to-one, recreation of the real world.
Or a clipboard. You want to read text on a clipboard. That's
Right.
going to be important for things like training.
Exactly.
Okay, so that was clip number 5. So those are the clips that I have. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to our little HP Reverb, the little Reverb clip, the little advertisement from HP. And so, clip number 5, I mean, that's what this is all about. This is why we're interested. Groundbreaking visual clarity, 4.6 million pixels per eye, full RGB stripe, subpixel arrangement, clarity, focus, and clarity again. Clarity on a stick, baby. And I gotta tell you, I kind of believe resolution is king. And so based on like valve index, the valve index is an unknown quantity right now. We're not really sure what the resolution of the valve index is. We have some people saying, look, it's going to be Vive Pro, Samsung Odyssey resolution. Other people are saying it is going to be 2160, just like this headset here. It's for a new generation. But let's just say, for the sake of arguing, that it is Vive Pro. It's Vive Pro Res. It's Samsung Odyssey Res. One of the things they did here, and they did this also with, I believe, was it Ben Lang of Road to VR and other people that have tried this headset, they actually give them an Odyssey right there. And they say, wait a minute, we want you to try an Odyssey first at HP. They put an Odyssey on you and they say, okay, this is where we're at right now. 1400 by 1600. This is the state of the art, pretty much, for a widely available consumer headset. This is what it's all about. Now take that off and put on the Reverb. And everybody that did that, they noticed an immediate jump, a major difference, okay? And now the valve index, obviously there's a lot of other factors that play into this. The refraction of the index and, all, like the different Fresnel lenses, dual Fresnel lenses, stacked Fresnel lenses, chromatic aberration, God rays, all these other little things that come along with it. We don't know if we're looking at an OLED or an LCD screen. Subpixels, no subpixels. These are questions that are unanswered at this point in time, and we're waiting for May 1st. But the thing we got to remember, HP Reverb, like, I'm excited about this headset. I want to try this headset. Now, I know there's issues. I know there's concerns. Obviously, the controller's garbage on a stick, pretty much. Okay, that might be a bit harsh, but the Windows, I don't know anybody that has ever said, oh yeah, the Windows Mixed Reality controllers are wonderful. I love these controllers. They're so awesome. I've never heard anybody say that. Now, in regards to the tracking, we're talking first generation Windows Mixed Reality tracking. I've actually heard quite a few people say, not that bad. Not as bad as you think. Certainly Rift S, Oculus Quest, major improvements probably even better inside-out tracking. But the original Windows Mixed Reality tracking, not exactly garbage. Not something that you want so much, but not exactly garbage. Other thing we got to remember here, comfort. This may be one of the most comfortable headsets out there. We don't know how comfortable the Valve Index is. I can tell you from firsthand experience, the Rift S is like a pillow on your head. Maybe even better than PlayStation VR, which is pretty incredible because PlayStation VR, most comfortable headset I use on a regular basis, no questions asked. PSVR, very comfortable. And this one might be the same kind of comfort, maybe even better. So, at least it's comfortable, incredibly high resolution. Okay, the other question we get into when we talk about HP Reverb is, do you got to buy a new graphics card? That's the other question you ask. And I believe Hewlett-Packard, I think they recommend a 1070 at the bare minimum. Now, the thing about the graphics card part of this equation is you can always undersample. So if you don't have the greatest graphics card in the world, you can always undersample, and you're still going to get an incredible benefit of damn near elimination of screen door effect with these incredibly high resolution screens that are in there. The other nice thing too, and going back to like one of the earlier clips that we had, he was talking about how these are custom designed screens. And so these screens, I don't know where they're sourcing these screens, these 2.89-inch LCD panels. These are square panels, 2160 by 2160. No, it's not rectangle. You can see there, these are square panels. They're smaller. They have less weight to them, which lowers the weight of the overall headset, makes it feel invisible on your head, designed to feel invisible according to their little advertising thing here. Ergonomic fit. You do have the headphones. You know, you've got the integrated audio. That's an advantage over Rift S. Rift S doesn't have that, so you got to add headphones later. Valve Index does have integrated headphones. They're very weird looking. They're metal looking. You might get electrocuted from the damn things. No, I mean, probably not. But kind of weird, crazy, bulky headphones that are coming on that Valve Index. Of course, those headphones might have some next gen like features. And so it's all a big question, man. I mean, I'm interested. I'm excited about HP Reverb in a lot of ways, but we kind of have to temper our excitement. We have to curb our enthusiasm because May 1st, you know. So, I mean, Hewlett-Packard, if they're smart, they freaking say, Reverb pre-orders are available now. Pre-order your HP Reverb now. And this comes out on April 27th or whatever. Get people to start using their credit cards right now. Get those credit cards charged, because people are going to have a decision to make. Because if you want that Reverb right away, you want to get in on it right away. But then you're being pulled in another direction as well, because you're thinking, God damn it, I really want to wait until May 1st. I really want to find out all the unknown quantities of the Valve Index before dropping 650 or whatever you got to drop on the HP Reverb. So interesting. It's very interesting. Okay, now I've been yapping my mouth off for quite a bit here. Let's go ahead and see what people in chat are talking about, because we've been on this whole Reverb thing for quite some time. So let's see what people in chat have to say about Reverb. Let's go ahead and I'm going to scroll back here a little bit. Chris says, I bet it will be amazing for 3D movies. You know, that's awesome. That's another factor that I didn't even mention that. I did not even mention that. Like, even if the Reverb isn't the be-all, end-all headset that we would love it to be, if you've got the money to burn, this could be the ultimate headset for any seated VR experiences, where, especially if you're using like an Xbox controller, like you're playing Ken, or you're playing, I don't know, like Pixel Ripped 1989, and you're using a regular Xbox controller, or if you're watching any kind of cinematic stuff, like The Great Sea, or Spheres, or stuff like that, maybe all that stuff might look better in a Reverb than any other headset. Also, if you're actually, you're ripping 3D Blu-rays, and you've got a way to get the 3D Blu-ray into your headset, might be incredible from that standpoint. Factory Life also says Reverb might be the ideal headset for racing sims and for all other kinds of sims, for flight sims, all the racing sims, all of those kinds of things. Chris says it'll be amazing for playing 2D games in big screen too. Hussein X says, yes, it was about Reverb regarding the comfort thing. So I think that is David Jagano. So the most comfortable headset he ever tried was the Reverb. Now, but maybe he hadn't tried Rift S prior to that. I would love to get clarity on that. So it would be nice to know, because I'm sure he's tried both of them. You know, I'm sure he's tried the Rift S plenty of times at this point. Which one is the best? That's the question in terms of pure comfort. But we know both of them are very comfortable, so that's really good. Chris also says, I wonder about the binocular overlap. It is terrible in the Rift, so I wonder how it will be in this. Yeah, there is that as well. So now I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. Let's try to get maybe some more recent comments. because I was kind of going back quite Chris, this guy is just off the chain in terms of commenting in chat. He says, just do some plastic surgery on your face. No biggie. Yeah, are your cheekbones causing you problems? Remove them. Have them shaved down. Change the size of your nose. Reduce your forehead. Reduce your brows. Plastic surgery, baby. Don't let these things, or actually, will we get to a day, would you like to have your IPD 64.5? We can do that for you. We have the technology. We can move your eyeballs in a few inches. That would be some crazy stuff. Let's see. R. Gambo says it will take more than 2 weeks. You need time with this stuff. I do believe you do need time with this stuff. That's part of the reason I've kind of gone to this idea where I kind of want to buy some of these other headsets. Rift S, want to buy it, even though I'm kind of okay with my Rift, but I kind of want to have a Rift S for a month. Have it with my Rift, compare and contrast. I kind of want to do the same thing with this HP Reverb. Own it, keep it for a full month, not return it to a store. If I decide I don't want it anymore, I throw the damn thing on eBay. I take the hit, maybe I lose a couple $100. It's the cost of doing business, or maybe I hold on to it. There's all those factors to consider. And speaking of let me be able to buy all of these things, let's go ahead and go over here. Let's thank some of our recent PayPal donators. I've fixed it now, so all of my recent PayPal donators, like Paul Bellino and everybody else that has recently made a PayPal donation, the PayPal donations are absolutely huge. Johan Hurdle, PayPal donation as well. Some of these guys have kicked me down $20, $10. These are my recent PayPal supporters. Much love for that. And I'm telling everybody the same thing. Any money that comes in is awesome, like Goran Galenik. Any of the money that is coming in, it is going to stuff like this. HP Reverb, I want to order it right away. Rift S, I want to order it right away. Valve Index, I want to order it right away. And PayPal donations or Patreon support as well. It is incredible. It is wonderful. It is amazing because it's going to allow me, Robert Swinburne, much love to all of these people that have supported me. And you could do a PayPal donation for $1. Because you know what? You donate $1, that's $1 closer to the Valve Index. Aaron Williams, much love. A lot of these people did PayPal donations a long time ago, and I've never thanked them. Fluke, our boy Fluke, I'm pretty sure it said Fluke. It was a different name, and it said Fluke, so I'm thinking it's Fluke Rogi, something like that. Hussein X, a major supporter of this show, very active in chat as well. James Perona, so many people, thank you so much. But let me go get back to these comments here. Okay, Steve Bishop, maybe there is an Index and an Index Pro. Oh my God. Steve, you know what? Why don't you make an entire video talking about that? You'll get about 4,000 views. Go ahead, do it. Make a video talking about the Index Pro. You don't know about it, but I do. I've got sources inside at Valve. Nobody has to know that you don't have any sources. Okay, Pseudo Soul says, Vive Pro resolution on the Index is cool with me. And yeah, even if it is Vive Pro resolution and Samsung Odyssey resolution on the Index, it might ultimately be better visuals than this, even though this one has higher resolution from the standpoint that just everything else that comes with the optics. The Valve Index may have next level optics beyond anything that we've seen so far, based on their patents, based on using two Fresnel lenses stacked upon each other, and based on the fact that they're calling it Valve Index, which kind of tells us that the optics were absolutely mission critical on the Valve Index. So even this with a higher resolution, we might prefer the Valve Index, even though the resolution's a little bit less. Steve Bishop says Windows Mixed Reality is the second best controller. it's not that awful, because think about it. Look, we know the Oculus Touch is the best controller, and we know the HTC Vive wands are ginormous. So maybe Windows Mixed Reality is the second best controller. Steve also says, I don't see a consumer device being 2160 by 2160 because it's going to force you to buy a brand new video card or undersample the living crap out of it. That's possible. Okay, scrolling down here, we'll try to see some more recent comments here. Great Tantrum says, does the Xbox One controller have motion control like the DualShock? No, that's the downside. Like, I do use an Xbox 360. It's actually a wired Xbox 360 controller. I use it with a lot of... I use it with when I'm playing stuff like Kin or Pixel Ripped 1989 or Subnautica or a lot... And hey, I just did that pose. Somebody said, I want Anthony to do this pose the whole time. Yay. But Subnautica, what else? Like, you know, the Ethan Finch, or what is that? The Misadventures, or what's that game? Where something about Ethan Finch or something, you know, there's all kinds of stuff where you're still using an old controller because the game wasn't made for motion controls. I use an Xbox 360, a wired Xbox 360 controller. Works great. No tracking though. You sacrifice the tracking, and on Pixel Ripped 1989, that kind of sucked a little bit. It would have been nice to have actual motion controls. Let's see. Invisible VR Man says the Valve Index, only thing though, it's going to be $900. Reverb is $600. That's a $300 difference. That's a part of the equation. It's absolutely part of the equation. Argambo says Reverb is true 4K. Not enough love, in my opinion. Not enough people are hyped on it. So, you know, there's that as well. Pseudo Soul says, don't do eBay, do a fan giveaway. Okay, maybe not that, but I'll be on eBay, and I'm Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Okay, why did I keep saying somebody Finch or something Finch? There's another game with somebody Finch, right? Okay, yeah, the Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Yeah, you would use a regular controller, but you know what I suggest, guys? Stand up with your regular controller, physically turn, push forward. Physically turn, push forward. That's how you, like Subnautica, Alien Isolation, any of those games where there's no motion controller support, go ahead and stand up and just physically turn and then just push forward. Yeah, what remains of Edith Finch? Yeah, I always get Edith Finch, Ethan Carter, all these people that are like lost in the forest. I get them mixed up. Okay, so anyway, that's what we have so far today on a lot of this stuff. Yeah, Chris is on a roll. He's out of control. Chris needs to back away from the keyboard very slowly. Okay, so that is all the HP Reverb stuff. Once again, tested, one of my favorite. They're the best. They're the best. Like, let's just be honest about it. They are the best out there. And much love to Tested, so make sure you subscribe, watch the entire videos. They got great content. Also, the regular podcasts that they do. This is a test, the podcast. You can get it on iTunes. One of my favorite podcasts. Now that I'm back at work, I'm listening to podcasts. It's wonderful that I have a podcast like that to listen to. They only do VR for part of it, but they talk about like Tesla and Apple and all kinds of other robots, Boston Dynamics robots, Marvel, freaking Captain Marvel and Endgame. And I'm not into the Marvel crap, but they're really into that. But very good podcast to be sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on now. And why don't we go ahead and bounce over to our Webinal browser. And we could bounce over there. And look at this, guys. This is a debut of our Webby browser. And see down there where it says Shantomio. Shantomio, thanks so much for your PayPal donation. Paul Bellino, thanks so much for your PayPal donation. Aaron Williams, Hussein X, Fluke Raji, all kinds of people that have made PayPal donations. Joanne Hurdle, awesome. But what I've done here is we now have a little bracket. Finally, Jim Hall is like, bro, I helped you with this, and this is the first time you've ever had that bracket in the lower right corner to make it look a little bit better. You know, like when MainFam would be a guest or somebody would be a guest, it was just their picture floating over there. I didn't have a nice little square around it. Now we got a nice little square. So I can go ahead and still be in this, but I can move around. Okay, you want to talk about daily deals, guys. This is a deal for the ages. Okay, maybe that's a little bit overboard. That's probably a little bit overboard. But From Other Suns, one of the most banging VR games out there. And it's kind of a forgotten game. Like, everybody kind of forgets about this game. When we talk about the best VR games available anywhere, we often don't mention From Other Suns. We talk about Arizona Sunshine. We talk about Lone Echo. We talk about Fallout 4, Skyrim VR, Superhot, Subnautica. You know, a lot of different games, right? They are considered the elite best VR games we've got. They're tried and true. Everybody rallies around those games. Brass Tactics. You know, a lot of great games, right? From Other Suns is in that discussion, but a lot of times it's not mentioned unless you keep going down and down and down, and you mention a hell of a lot of them. But From Other Suns, one of the best VR games we've got. Now, this is, of course, exclusive to Oculus, so you got to go through Revive. If you don't have a Rift headset, that sucks, to be sure. I've had a lot of fun in this game. This is a cool game. It's an interesting game. You're with other people. I normally don't like multiplayer type stuff, but this does have multiplayer type stuff. I need to get back into this game. Of course, I could say that about 500 VR games. I need to get back into about 500 of them. From Other Suns is absolutely one of them. It is 50% off. You're getting it for $20. This game stays solidly at that $40 price point, doesn't back off of it too much, and now you can get it for half off. Now there's about a little over 10 hours are left in this. From Other Suns, very high quality, much love over there. Okay, now we can go ahead and let's go back to our standard scene here. So we'll say goodbye to the PayPal supporters, although we love them so much. I'm going to do that for Patreon supporters as well, and also recent subscribers to this channel. I'm going to do that as well. So, and Tippy Stream is something I'm looking into. I'm looking into Tippy Stream. My only concern with Tippy Stream is tax time, because receiving money from a European company, when it comes to doing your taxes, that could be problematic. That's my only concern there, so I need to look at the fine print in regards to Tippy Stream. But let's go ahead and get back to our main standard scene right here. And now we're at the point of the show where I've ran out of everything I had that was pre-made. Okay, it was all about the projections episode, and it was all about From Other Suns, and all about HP Reverb. So what we can do now, when I run out of topics, what do? Well, we can always go to the major websites out there. We can see if there's any brand new stories on these websites. Of course, this is Saturday, so I don't know that we're going to get brand new stories, but we can check that out. We can also go ahead and check out the various subreddits and see what's going on there. So let's go ahead and head over to our standard Webby browser. This is it. And let's go to Upload VR. Let's see. So yeah, we're on Upload VR now. Okay, so one of the more recent stories that we have is how Iron Man VR landed on PlayStation VR. Now, this story is actually coming from VentureBeat. VentureBeat and Upload VR, they're VR homies. They like to stick together and they share back and forth. It's kind of a collabo type of thing. Maybe they're owned by the same parent company. I don't know. But here is a story about Iron Man landing on PlayStation VR. Of course, I've talked about Ryan Payton a number of times. He worked under Kojima for a very long time, started his own company. This is him right here. He's head of Camouflage Studios in Seattle. And this guy's living a dream, because this guy, he started his own studio. He's got a lot of great developers working for him. You know, they made Republic. It was a launch title for Oculus Go. You know, they're a small team, a 50-plus person team up here in Seattle. So they got a nice little interview here. I'm not going to read the whole interview, but probably a good little story to check out. Oh, damn it. You know what I screwed up on, guys? I forgot to do something because there's somebody... If we go to the PlayStation VR subreddit, okay, let's go to the PlayStation VR subreddit. Let me go ahead and refresh this. Damn it, I made a big mistake here, guys, because there was a guy that basically tracked down every little GIF of Iron Man VR. There's a lot of little GIFs that are floating around out there, and I was going to copy all of those GIFs. I was going to put it into a nice video that I could pop onto the screen, and I completely forgot about it. But if I could find that post again, we can actually we can click on some of these GIFs and GIFs, whatever you want to call them, Jiffy peanut butter. We can click on some of them, and because some of it looks pretty freaking good. Like, some of it looks a lot better than I ever thought. Now, the problem is I got to find the damn post. I'm finding the damn post. Okay, so let me do a search. Can I search this? Let's do Iron Man. We'll just search Iron Man. Iron Man. And let's see if I can find the Iron Man gifts. Because this guy... damn it. Where is it when you need it? Oh, here it is. Amazing new Iron Man VR footage. No, that's one of them. Oh, here it is. Okay, compilation of the GIFs. Here we go. Yay, yay, yay. So we've got a lot of little GIFs here. Now I can click on these individually. Let's check some of them out. Like that one right there. Okay, so at least we're seeing a different scene here. So it's kind of like, are you guys getting this? Yeah, you're getting this. Unfortunately, it's really small. But we can pump this up though. I think I can bump it up like this. Yeah. There we go, brah. Okay, so yeah, this is captured from a PlayStation 4 Pro. You can see that. And you can see that we're flying through, you're by the ocean here. You're flying through these caves. So at least it's not all 100% clouds and blue sky, because that was absolutely my biggest fear with that. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the next GIF here. And I'm going to have to pump this one up as well. So let's go ahead and zoom on in. Zoom on in, brah. Okay, let's go ahead and play this. And yeah, now here you're in the sky. Not a huge fan of clouds and sky. I'm a little bit tired of clouds and sky, but we see, you see the airplane moving around 360 degrees. They are really stepping into the whole HUD idea and all the little HUD things. That's what they're really getting behind with Iron Man, which makes a ton of sense. I mean, think about it. Iron Man, it's such a natural to have, to take full advantage of the HUDs and stuff. Okay, let's click on this one. Okay, this one's kind of a slow-mo. Again, you're out there with the clouds and airplanes. See, I was hoping we'd see a little more differences out of this other than just a whole bunch of clouds. I want to see a gift where you're on the ground, and I want to see buildings and mountains and trees and stuff. Haven't seen that yet. At least I have seen us get very close to the ocean, though, and flying through some caves that are kind of like really like at the... ground level on the ocean here. But basically this clip, you can see an airplane, Stark Industries airplane. It's damaged. This is probably when you had to eject out of the airplane and you're shooting things. So you know what? I got to tell you, Iron Man, maybe not as bad as we thought it was. So Iron Man VR, I don't think that original trailer did them any favors. In fact, if anything, I think the original trailer kind of screwed them up. But let's see, that's the one that we just looked at. Okay, let's click on this last one here. What's this last one? Okay, let's go ahead and pump this one up in terms of, let's get the size a lot bigger here. Oh man, this one's only 3 seconds. But yeah, you're punching something and that's pretty much it. But yeah, everything does say captured from PS4 Pro, so it probably does look quite a bit better on PS4 Pro. Or, I mean, not tremendously better, but enough better that you would probably notice it. Okay, so yeah, I did remember that Iron Man stuff. But I wanted to make a video of it, a compilation video, and also put some little music behind it and all of that. Okay, since we happen to be on the PlayStation VR subreddit any damn way, we can look at some stories on here. But before I do that, let me bounce back over to chat, see if anybody's talking about Iron Man VR and what you guys kind of think about Iron Man VR. And let's see. Chris says, to be fair, $40 is way overpriced for a multiplayer only game just like Space Junkies. Not sure which game he's talking about there, but obviously Space Junkies a little bit overpriced, probably. Invisible VR Man says, can you get a link to your PayPal so you can donate some funds? Oh, if you guys want to donate PayPal like $1, $2, anything like that, it's all wonderful. And it's in the description. There should be a link to my PayPal in the description. I think it'll take you to my PayPal. I think it'll take you to VR Game Rankings where I have a little page there, and then there will be a donate there, and you click on that, and then that'll do that if you did want to do that. Our Gambo still hasn't played Lone Echo. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Because Lone Echo is top 10. I'm not going to get into top 10 games, but Lone Echo is top 10. Crash still needs to play Lone Echo. You guys are cray-cray. You got to get on that. Lone Echo, honestly, is the closest you're ever going to get to being inside a sci-fi space-like movie. I've always said that PlayStation VR Worlds, London Heist, when you're in the freeway scene, that's the closest you're ever going to get to being in an action movie. And then Lone Echo is the closest you're ever going to get in a sci-fi movie or like a space movie. Okay, Cloud Man, not Iron Man. That's Pseudo Soul. Muppet on Med says looks pretty. Main Fan says he has the 3 gifts. SAMIK81 says this is why Iron Man wasn't in Marvel Powers United. Oh, is this? Is this why? Maybe it's why. So anyway, that's some of the stuff that we're talking about there. Main Fan says he wants to turn the HUD off. But that's all, the HUD is Iron Man. If you turn the HUD off, are you still Iron Man? I don't know. Pseudo Soul says Lone Echo is top 3 for me, brah. Okay, so anyway, looking at PlayStation VR here, I was just going to see if there were any other little headlines that might be of interest from a PlayStation VR standpoint real quick. 4.2 million PSVR sold. Yes, we do know about that. And not seeing too much else here. Quiver. Quiver is coming to PlayStation VR on April 16th. That is news. That is absolutely new news for PlayStation VR. Quiver is headed over there. That's pretty much it over there as far as new PSVR stories. Okay, well, we can go ahead and check out the Oculus Rift subreddit. Let me go ahead and give this a quick refresh here. We'll see what's going on over here. Valve Index packaging leaked. Yeah, this is the Gaben. Has Gabe responded to this? Like, what is going on with this? This is Bizarro World. Or did somebody Photoshop that? Oh, somebody did Photoshop the little Valve Index headset on there. That's funny. But yeah, I really want to know, like, and this guy, the number one comment on this, Frank, 54 points, says, I'm more interested in that shirt. Where can I get one of those? Yeah, that is a dope shirt. Gabe Index is sporting it funky, fresh. Look at the collar. Look at the little dots right there and everything. And Gabe has been lifting some weights. He is very fit. Gabe is chilling on a high level. That is just hilarious. Oh, and then they also, they photoshopped, I didn't even notice this part over here. They photoshopped the Valve Index right there. Valve Index, oh, this is so hilarious. Absolute classic. Great job. Much love for whoever did this. Absolutely incredible. Okay, let's see. Wear your straps, people. Okay, a little late, but still relatable. I'm really tired of this meme. I am really tired of that meme. Index, Oculus, Rift S, derber. Yeah, we've seen that a million times. From Other Suns worth $20? Hell yeah. If you're into multiplayer and you've never, yeah. From Other Suns is really solid. It really is. It probably shouldn't be $40 though. So, sometimes these things end up looking better than they are because it's like 50% off, but it never should have been that high anyways. Now, this guy is speaking my language. Why the heck isn't there a VR spectator mode for NBA 2K or Madden? Or why don't they just make a game like that? Why don't they just bring Madden or NBA 2K? Like, when we think about, seriously here, when we think about Oculus and we think about how they had 500 million, they had 500 Christina millions that they had to throw around to try to tempt developers. What's more tempting, Christina Million or $10 million? It's debatable. But Epic Games chose 10 million. They gave us Robo Recall. But one of the things I wonder is, should Oculus have taken like 25 of those million and called up Strauss Zelnick and said, hey man, NBA 2K VR, bro, we throw 25 million your way. Could Visual Concepts like make a banging ass NBA 2K VR game for the Oculus Rift? Because basketball in VR, tabletop style, where you're kind of hovering over and you see LeBron and you see all the little guys running around and they're animating flawlessly, and it's like, holy shit, this is like holograms. I'm looking at holograms here. They could have did that. They spent a lot of money on like 4A games, making Arctica 1. They threw a lot of money at Ready at Dawn to make Lone Echo and all the Echo stuff. They've thrown a lot of money at Insomniac. They've thrown a lot of money around, but you wonder, did they really get value for where they threw their money? That is a question that could be considered. So there is that. So just looking around at some of this other stuff here. What we could do is we could take a quick look at Steam. Let's take a quick look at Steam, and let's take a quick look at virtual reality. Let's see what some of the most recent releases. So Hit and Run Baseball, remember I talked about it yesterday? That game is out there. It is available. It is $6. Unfortunately, no user reviews so far. So not sure if that is, don't know if it's any good or not, but it is out there. The Woods VR Escape the Room, that has been out there for a minute. There are a couple of reviews. That is $3. It's 40% off. Going back here, we could take a quick look at upcoming just to see if every once in a while, like if you haven't looked at upcoming in a while, sometimes you might want to do it, because every once in a while something new comes completely out of the blue, like Sexy Miss. I'm not going to click on this. I am not going to click on this. But something new comes out of the blue and surprises you. Now remember, Tuesday, Vacation Simulator, looking forward to it in a major, major way. I mean, I'm already playing it. I'm not looking forward to it. You guys are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to talking about it on Tuesday. That'll be fun. And Drone Striker. Let's not forget, guys, this was the background for today's show. Drone Striker, depending on the price of this, could be kind of like a little Time Crisis sort of game. That was the backdrop that I used for today. Every once in a while, I'll look for something. I kind of like the look of that. That's kind of cool. But yeah, it could be kind of fun if they can keep the price low on this. Kind of Time Crisis. What do you call it? Virtual Cop. Old Sega style. This is coming from User Joy Technology, April 9th. Don't know the price, but Drone Striker is on PlayStation VR. So you know what we could do? We could do a quick Google search. Drone Striker, PSVR. Let's see how much it's going for, if we can find it. Okay. I do know a way to find PSVR stuff. What I do is I go Cavernous Waste. Because whenever I do a search for Cavernous Waste, it takes me to the PlayStation Store immediately. And then I can do a search for Drone Striker and probably find it. Yeah. Here we go, Drone Striker. So $10. So Drone Striker is $10 on PlayStation VR, and you can see, it's the same game. So it's basically the same game being brought over to PC VR. $10 might not be too bad for a Time Crisis, Virtual Cop, shoot 'em up style game. Might be kind of fun. So there is that to think about. Now, yeah, Pseudo Soul says, I'll buy Hit and Run when it's on sale for 6 cents. Okay, don't know that it's going to do that. DLG27 says, Anthony just donated $5 to PayPal. Keep up the great work you do on this show. Use it towards your next headset, whatever that may be. I got to tell you, man, The money that is coming in is absolutely awesome because I'll guarantee you, DL G27, that $5 is either going to a Reverb, an Oculus Lenovo, or a Valve Index, or all of the above. I want to get all three of those headsets, and an Oculus Quest too. I've already saved up like 400, 450, 500 bucks. I have that already for my Oculus Quest. I'm ready to go. So the minute the Oculus Quest gets up and running, I'm ready to pounce on it. And then the other money is pooling up for like Reverb, Index, and all those kinds of things. So DLG27, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That would be awesome. And then Dave B says, basketball is too USA centric. FIFA would be better. Yeah, actually that is true. But then you got to sign a deal with the devil. And Electronic Arts, kinda the devil. Kind of the devil. Let's be honest about it. Electronic Arts has, oh my God. See, the thing is, we don't have all these dumb skins and collectathons and all that crap. We don't have it in the VR world right now. You sign a deal with the devil. You sign a deal with Electronic Arts, you're getting all that. So if you're getting Madden, if you're getting FIFA, you're going to get all of that. And that's unfortunate. That's the downside of it. But let's see, what else can we do here? You know, one thing I can do really quick is let's go to vrgamerankings.com real quick because I've actually updated something and it's kind of interesting. We could talk about it for a second here. So one of the things I've updated recently at vrgamerankings.com is I've updated our most wanted charts. So one of the things you want to do, if you've never been to vrgamerankings.com, look, the website, somebody said, this website looks like it's from 2001. And I was like, really? That's awesome, because I thought this website looked like it was from 1998. And you're telling me it looks like it's from 2001. That's even better, because I thought it was like a late 90s website. But one of the things you can do with this website is you go to the most wanted charts. We've got a lot of them. We've got the top 60 most wanted Quest games. We've got the most wanted PSVR games, the top 40, top 20, top 80 most wanted PC VR games, top 40 most wanted Oculus, top 20, top 40 most wanted HTC Vive. And then we have an overall. And I just recently updated the overall. Let's click on that and let's check out the overall. These are across all platforms, guys. And I added, there's no Oculus Go stuff on here. There's no Daydream stuff and there's no Gear VR stuff. If there was something super hyped, maybe I'd throw it on it. But I have added Oculus Quest games into the mix. So if we check out the rankings here, No Man's Sky, numero uno. Stormland coming in at number 2. Boneworks, the Valve Index hype is fever pitch. And Boneworks, here's a little thing about Boneworks. Like, we believe Boneworks is a 4th quarter release. But if the Valve Index drops in late June, Boneworks may drop in late June. That's something that, you know, we weren't thinking about so much. Beat Saber, now you might say, Beat Saber, what the F? Beat Saber's been out for a year. Why is this on a most wanted chart? This is the Oculus Quest version of Beat Saber. And I personally believe that Beat Saber for the Oculus Quest is the single most wanted Oculus Quest game. Because, you know, we have to get outside of ourselves and we have to think about somebody brand new coming to the Oculus Quest. What's their most wanted game? Beat Saber, baby. It is. It is their most wanted game. So it's way up there at number 4. Lone Echo 2 is at 5. Oh, what do we see at number 6? Breath of the Wild VR. Yes, a Nintendo game. A Nintendo game has been added to our list. How crazy is that? Breath of the Wild VR, Nintendo Labo VR. Vader Immortal coming in at number 7. Another Oculus Quest game jumping into the mix. Population 1 is in the mix. Asgard's Wrath. You know the nice thing about Asgard's Wrath? I saw some videos on Asgard's Wrath and I was kind of like, you know, some of the early videos was kind of like, I thought it was going to be better. I really like the wet ground. It looks beautiful, but I thought it was going to be better. But you know what? Some of the hands-on impressions that people have had of Asgard's Wrath, and then the fact that this is like the biggest Oculus game ever or whatever, my hype levels have increased a little bit with Asgard's Wrath. Blood and Truth. Blood and Truth, May 28th, y'all. May 28th. Borderlands 2 VR coming this summer to PC VR, we think. Journey of the Gods, it's coming to Quest and Rift. That's up there at number 12. Defector. You want to talk about a game that has tumbled down the charts? Defector was up here at like 4 or 3 like a couple of months ago. It's tumbled down to 13. That is crazy, but we just haven't heard anything about it. We don't know anything about it. It's kind of disappeared. What happened to Defector? Okay, Firmament. We got a long ways to wait for Firmament, but it looks good. Dreams, Media Molecule, Robo Recall. Why is a Robo Recall? It's been out for years. What is this doing on here? Oh, Oculus Quest. Okay, that makes sense. We've got Zed, Star Child, Super Hot. That's been out for a million years. Oh, Oculus Quest. And Marvel's Iron Man VR. It has jumped all the way into the top 20. Why? Because those gifts look pretty damn good. And Marvel's Iron Man VR is starting to look better and better and better. And it is one of the more hyped PSVR games out there. It has jumped all the way up to 20. But we got a lot of great games. Everybody's Golf, May 21st. Blunt Force is coming to a lot of major platforms. VR Chat, not really a game, but you know what? We went ahead and threw it here anyway. Oculus Quest, love is in the building. Elder Scrolls Blades, you know, this one might have to tumble down a little bit more. I heard some bad things on the most recent episode of Giant Bomb. Some definite bad things about Elder Scrolls Blades, like the iPhone version, the Android version. I guess it's kind of out there now. And so it's kind of like you have to like pay money or you're going to be locked in, you know, it's basically like kind of a scam thing. So I don't know that we really want that on our platforms, but yeah, it's still out there. Blades. Dead and Buried 2, you know, the day that the Rift S comes out, the day that the Oculus Quest comes out, Dead and Buried 2 might be out the same day. Like it might be bam, Rift S available now, Oculus Quest available now, Dead and Buried 2 available now, Dance Central available now. I mean, there could be a massive explosion of a lot of stuff the day that the Rift S and Quest both drop. Okay, number 26, Creed Rise to Glory, Oculus Quest. And I'll tell you what, one of the most wanted Oculus Quest games, one of the best looking Oculus Quest games, Creed Rise to Glory, looked really good in that trailer. Vacation Simulator, this is going to fall off this list very soon when we get to next Tuesday, although it'll kind of stay on the list because of the PlayStation VR version and the Quest version. Both are coming later. PlayStation VR version, Vacation Simulator, I believe it's like June 18th or something like that. And it's also coming to the Quest, but that is later this year. Job Simulator is going to come to the Quest a lot earlier, like right around launch. Dirt Rally 2.0, it's way down here at 28. Am I out of my mind? Maybe, but that's where it is. That's where it ended up. Dirt Rally 2.0, still very exciting. Nostos, coming to every system under the sun. When are we going to see it? I don't know. District Steel, whatever happened to that game? Still looks good, though, and hopefully it's coming in the not-too-distant future. Ghost Giant, we're going to get this in a couple of weeks. Zoink Games, that's April 16th. Rec Room, coming to Quest, baby. Some hype there. Moss looked really good on Quest. Not much of a downgrade at all. Hyped on that. Sports Scramble. Don't laugh about Sports Scramble up there at number 34. Dude, this is the Nintendo Wii Sports we've been waiting for. Hopefully. Remember, it's going to have a baseball mode, it's going to have a bowling mode, and then it has the tennis mode. It's being developed by Amateur, and this could be a primetime game. So do not sleep on Sports Scramble. I actually played Sports Scramble more than any other Oculus Quest game. I got a number of demos with Sports Scramble, and it's vibrant. It's whimsical. It's fun. It's a fun game. And I didn't see the baseball stuff and I didn't see the bowling stuff. I believe Sports Scramble is probably going to be packaged in with the Quest. I think everybody that buys a Quest, you're probably going to get Sports Scramble. I think you should get Beat Saber, but we don't need to go back into that. Undead Citadel looks incredible. Hopefully it will be incredible. Dance Central, again, I was telling you guys that Dead and Buried 2, the second the Rift S is available, Dead and Buried 2, bam, it might be available. Same thing with the Quest, because Dead and Buried 2 is going to be on Quest and cross-play and all that. Dance Central, same kind of thing. Dance Central might be coming a hell of a lot sooner than any of us may have imagined. Okay, Trover Saves the Universe. We're still checking for that game. Looking pretty good. Wolfenstein Cyberpilot. The newest screenshots look really pretty. But this game only costs $20, which means it's going to last about an hour and 35 minutes. Because otherwise, why wouldn't they charge a hell of a lot more money? So anyway, Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, I believe that is July 26th. I think July 26th. Shadow Legend VR. What is this thing doing on our list? It's already been available and it's overrated, according to a lot of you peeps. I think Shadow Legend VR is awesome. Yeah, it's a short game, but I still think it's awesome. The reason it's on this chart is because it's coming to the Quest and PlayStation VR, but probably later this year. Okay, Budget Cuts. That's an old game. What is that doing here? It's coming to PlayStation VR. That's what it's doing there. The Climb is coming to the Oculus Quest, so we got some hype for that. We haven't seen, it's kind of weird, not a single screenshot, not a single video of The Climb. Why? I don't know. Okay, The Rig by Sunset Division. This developer is actually in San Francisco. They weren't at GDC that I could tell. I'm slightly worried about this game because why weren't they at GDC? It was in their own backyard. But The Rig, like if you see videos and stuff of it, tested, speaking of one of the best VR podcasts that is out there, one of the best programs you can watch about VR and AR, they had a special episode where they visited the people that are making The Rig, Sunset Division. It's a very small team. It's like 4 dudes, and they've got full-time jobs, but in their after hours, they're banging away on this game that looks pretty freaking cool. And so The Rig is still in the mix. Sniper Elite VR, coming from Rebellion. It's coming to major VR platforms. We know there's a PSVR version. We assume there's a PC VR version. We're not sure exactly what headsets it's coming to. Job Simulator, brah. Why would Job Simulator be on this list? It's on this list because the day that you pick up your Oculus Quest, you might be a brand new person to the whole world of VR. You just got yourself a brand new Oculus Quest. Hey, remember Short Power 24? Remember we had an interview with Short Power 24? Short Power 24 doesn't have any VR headsets, so Job Simulator is new to her. She doesn't have a freaking PSVR or a PC VR headset. So if Short Power 24, if she gets an Oculus Quest, she might want to jump on Job Simulator. That might be a primetime game, and a lot of kiddies love Job Simulator. It may be there right away at launch because Job Simulator is coming to the Oculus Quest. Face Your Fears 2 by Turtle Rock Studios, that's coming to the Oculus Quest. Golem, okay, if Kevgret was watching this right now, Kevgret would say, dude, what is Golem doing here? Get it the hell out of here. Golem is a disaster. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Rogan, the Thief in the Castle, looks really good. Graphically stunning. Pixarip 1989, that is there because it's coming to the Oculus Quest. Again, should be a really cool game on Oculus Quest. And Node looks beautiful. I think it's coming this summer. And Titan Arena by Lightbound Studios. So that's our top 50. I could have made a top 100. We've got a lot of good shit that's coming. So there's a lot of good things that are going on in the VR world. Very excited about a lot of that stuff. But let's go ahead and switch back over here to our standard scene. And let's give some of our PayPal supporters a little bit of love. So we'll switch back over here. Aaron Williams, Fluke Rogie, a lot of people have helped out in a major, major way. And DLG27, his name's going to be on the board tomorrow, on tomorrow's episode. Hussein X in the building. But let's go ahead and check chat. What are some people talking about over here on chat? Great Tantrum said, people thought that Shadow Legends would be the next Skyrim. Is that what it is? People thought Shadow Legends was going to be the Skyrim, and so they're like, not quite, brah. No, yeah, Shadow Legends is not the next Skyrim, but Shadow Legends is more VR, though, than Skyrim VR, in my opinion, because Shadow Legends was built for VR. It might not be everything you wanted it to be, and it's more of an exploratory game. And see, that's catnip for me. I love, Technic Frick. Check him out on YouTube. Supported PayPal supporter Ryan S. Hawley. We're seeing some names we've never seen before. Oh, Pseudo Soul says I forgot eSpire 1. Nah. I didn't forget anything, brah. We don't forget anything at VR Game Rankings. It just didn't make the top 50. If you want to see eSpire 1, you got to go to our top 80 charts, the PC VR top 80. Let's go ahead and check that out real quick. Paul Bellino still in the mix, even though we're checking out the top 80 most wanted. Okay, so the top 80 most wanted, it's a little bit of a different list because this is PC VR only. So as we start to roll down here, we've seen a lot of these names. But here's some names that didn't make the top 50. You didn't see the Half-Life 2 VR mod anywhere on the top 50 overall, but it's here at 27 on the top 80 PC VR games. Elysium VR, Shadowpoint. Remember, this is coming to Rift. So Shadowpoint is coming to the Quest, but it's also coming to the Rift. Coatsink is the developer. Area of Darkness, supposedly later this month, but did you see what I did here? I put May 2019 because I think this is a May game. Hey, Thief Simulator VR. This one is probably going to move up our charts because the most recent videos of Thief Simulator VR look damn good. The gameplay videos of NVR look pretty good. So Thief Simulator might be on the rise. Soul Scathe, that looks good. Falcon Age is still coming to other platforms. Next Tuesday it hits PlayStation VR, but later this year it's coming to other platforms. Five Nights at Freddy's. This didn't make our top 50 in the overall category, but Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be in the mix at some point. I think very late this month. Steel Wool Studios is a developer of that. Don't sleep. The Spy Who Shrunk Me. The VR mode is coming in the month of April, I believe. So remember this, folks. Remember. Like Mufasa said. Remember. The Spy Who Shrunk Me is still coming. The VR mode is still coming later this month, I think. Fail Space by Hipfire Games. Until You Fall by Shell Games. Okay, what did you want? eSpire, right? Okay, Groundhog Day VR, Spectro. Spectro looks incredibly colorful. Borrowed Light Studios, looking forward to that one. JetX is in a couple of days as well. Like JetX, I think is either is it Thursday or Friday, but JetX is coming real soon. Dimension Hunter 2. Here's eSpire 1, brah. eSpire 1 is at number 47, brah. It's right after Planetrism. But it's before Into the Radius. Into the Radius, unfortunately, got delayed into early 2020. We're not going to see it very soon. eSpire 1, Nostradamus says August. August for eSpire 1. So yeah, no, we rank them all, brah. We rank them all. Like, look at Drone Striker. We ranked that. We've got Raiders of Erda. What about Boiling Steel, brah? Boiling Steel. In fact, let's go to Steam. Because Boiling Steel, there's a brand new Steam page for Boiling Steel. So let's see, Steam Gunheart. These are the guys, Merowin. Okay, let's look up Boiling Steel. Boiling Steel. Yeah, see, they just got a Steam page for this. Q4 2019, Merowin is the developer. And if we click on this, you'll see that these are the guys behind Guns and Stories Bulletproof, which wasn't that terrible. Guns and Stories Bulletproof was not that bad. It was actually halfway decent. And so they got this game called Boiling Steel, and I'm kind of liking the graphical look of this game. I don't know if they have a new trailer for this. I think they might. We should preview. But look at that. Don't you think that looks kind of dope? You know what that reminds me of? Man, this game reminds me. What was that game that was on like PlayStation 3 where you're like sliding? You're like always sliding and shooting shit. And I forget, was it like a Square game or something? But you're like running, or was it like Konami? Who was it? But it had kind of a cool graphical look, and you'd like slide everywhere and you're shooting people and you're like running around sliding. I can't remember the name of that game. But for some reason, well, not this part doesn't remind me of it, but that part reminds me of it. This part, not so much. That part, not so much, but kind of a cool overhead look right there. That part reminds me of it quite a bit. But yeah, this is Boiling Steel. I bet you a lot of people are sleeping on this. All people died and you are isolated. All people died. Damn it, that's gotta suck. All people died. Oh, they got an alpha for it. But yeah, boiling steel. So yeah, we cover everything on VRGameRankings.com. We're kind of crazy like that. Sarin, he was a PayPal donator. Much love. Okay, so let's go back to our standard scene here. I need to get the hell out of Dodge. I've been going for like 2 hours, bruh. 2 hours, bruh. So that means extra donations. Extra donations for the 2-hour stream. Okay, let's go back to our logo. And yeah, I'm out of here, folks. I need water. No, it wasn't Crisis. I think it was a PlayStation 3 game. It was like a robot game, but it was like a Japanese developed robot game, but you're like running around and you're like sliding. You would like slide with your guns, and it was like sliding robots, really stylistic. I think it was PlayStation 3. I think it was very late. Vanquish? Let me do it. Yeah, Vanquish. That might have been it. Let me do a quick Google search for Vanquish. Now you guys got me curious. Okay, so hold on. Let's go to web browser. Was it Vanquish? I thought it had a really cool name, though. Vanquish doesn't seem that cool to me. Vanquish. Is it PS3? Vanquish PS3? Yeah, this is it. Yeah, it's the sliding game. Yeah, the sliding game. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, where you kind of run around and you're sliding everywhere. Who was it? Oh, it was Sega. Yeah, okay, Sega. Yeah, you're running around and sliding everywhere. Yeah, that kind of, I don't know, for some reason, a couple of those screenshots for Boiling Steel kind of reminded me of this. But I'm not comparing it to Boiling Steel in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, who was that? Adam. Adam and Shiny Robot. Yeah, they know what I'm talking about. All right, cool. Okay, but yeah, I'm out of here, guys. I am tired. I mean, I'm not tired, but my throat is tired. I need water and I need lunch. I am hungry and I'm basically done. But you know what? Tomorrow, folks, VR Roundtable. Don't sleep. VR Roundtable, 9 a.m. Pacific time in the morning. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Think about it. Remember, VR Roundtable, everything that happened this week after Sunday, we didn't talk about any of it. So any of the juicy things that have happened this week, like for example, Tested and their review of HP Reverb a little bit, we might be talking about that. I'm sure we're going to be talking about Nintendo and VR. That is definitely a big thing. And then all the other little things that have been going on, possibly some recent releases and stuff. So we got lots of stuff to talk about on VR Roundtable tomorrow at about 9 a.m. Pacific time. So be sure to tune in for that. And then after VR Roundtable, it is Sunday Fun Day. And I'm hoping to maybe have a guest. I'm not sure. I don't have a guest lined up, but I'm hoping to possibly maybe find a guest for tomorrow, because you know what a guest does? A guest takes the pressure off of me like a mofo, man. If I have a guest, I can just be like, yeah, so what did you think about blah, blah, blah? And I'd be like, oh, okay, really? Really? Oh, yeah. So a guest takes the pressure off. So I'm looking for a guest. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful Saturday. And remember, brah. What is it? Oh, I forgot the name. What is the the Daily Deal? Oops. From Other Suns. Yeah, From Other Suns. Remember, From Other Suns. A pretty good deal for $20. You might want to check that out. All right, I'm out of here. See everybody tomorrow. Have a wonderful weekend. Take it easy. Later.